So Eilish, after taking this diet history from you, I've noticed a couple of areas that we can work on towards your overall goal of general healthy eating. So you can see here I've mapped with what you're currently consuming in terms of the core food groups and what the recommended levels are for someone of your age, sex and activity levels.
Yeah.
Do you know what sort of core food groups are?
Yes. Yeah.
So, for example, like, you know, vegetables.
The food pyramid?
Yeah, sort of. We use, like, more of a plate now, but basically...
Oh, yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, like an approach that uses vegetables, fruits... Meats and alternatives, dairy and alternatives. Yeah. Each of these provides sort of, like, an overall... like, some key components that are important for overall health. At the moment, you're actually consuming, like, enough fruit, which is really unusual for someone... for your age group, so well done on that. In terms of vegetables as well, you're doing quite well there. Most of the Australian population can't even get to 2 serves, and you're usually getting between 3 to 4. So it's not quite the 5 that's recommended, but you're still doing really well, and you should be commended for that. Yeah. But I have included as part of your goals some ways to really up those free veg. Where I'm starting to get a little bit concerned is with like the dairy and alternatives. You've mentioned previously that you don't really drink dairy milk, which is fine, but it's really still important that you get enough sufficient calcium. Yeah. Because you're currently 21 years old. You actually have until the age of like 25 to 27 to sort of set your bones for life, and then all we can do is just prevent them from losing bone mass. Yeah, so that's because we want to make sure that, you know, when you're 60, 70 years old, you're still okay to go for like your afternoon runs and for your active job. So in terms of goals that I've written down for you, I have to increase your calcium intake. Yep. And to increase your free vegetable intake. Can you think of sort of like anything else that you would like me to sort of help you with?
Yes, with my breakfast, I noticed that if I'm like sitting at a desk, I'll get hungry after about like 2-3 hours after eating breakfast, and I think I should be able to have something that's like sustaining me a lot longer than that.
Yep, so a more filling breakfast.
Yeah, more filling.
So you would usually, if you're working, you'd be getting up and having breakfast around 5:30, and you wouldn't really have your lunch until 11:30.
Depends on like the time that I'm working. Like, yeah, this morning I got up at 5 o'clock. But if we go on like, if I was to work full time, it would be. So yeah, usually about 11:30 at any time of day, regardless when I get up. Okay. As like a consistency thing, 11:30 is when I start to get hungry.
Yeah. So I'll just add that as a goal. To sort of like improve satiety at breakfast. Yeah. So yeah.
Because I feel satisfied after I've eaten it, but then it just digests too fast and my stomach starts grumbling. And I think when it is like telling me signs, when it's like actively making noises that it wants food.
That's fair. In terms of like increasing your calcium from the sort of 1 serve that you're consuming now to sort of like the 2.5 recommended serves, what would you describe your willingness to make changes in terms of 1 being not willing to change at all and 10 being sort of like, yeah, I'm on board, I can do this?
Yeah, no, like 9, 10.
Yeah, 10?
Yeah.
That's awesome. After sort of, when we look through your breakfast and lunch and dinner, obviously, I can identify a couple of areas where we can increase that calcium. You say that you're currently having porridge that's made on water. Yes. How would you feel about, instead of cooking it with water, cooking it with like a calcium-fortified milk alternative?
I definitely give it a go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you currently use any at the moment?
No.
No?
Well, I use oat milk, but not. I have never thought about to put it in my breakfast.
Yep. What brand oat milk would you use?
Pure Harvest.
Pure Harvest. I could be wrong, and we can check this later, but I do believe that that's not a calcium-fortified brand.
Right.
Do you know sort of like how to read the nutrition labels?
I've never looked at a milk one.
You've never looked at a milk
tell
one?
You. No.
Okay. So this is like the brands that like my family and I use. So for example, you can see that it's got a calcium carbonate to fortify with, and that per serving it provides about 200 milligrams of calcium. Cow's milk will provide about 300 milligrams calcium per serving, so you're really looking for something that provides at least 200 milligrams per serving. You work at Coles?
Yes.
Coles, right?
Yeah.
So maybe sort of like next time you're there, just sort of like have a look, find one that looks interesting to you, and maybe try out a little bit. Does that sound something that you could do?
Yeah.
And that will boost up your total calcium from 1 to 2 serves. An added perk is that if you use something like soy milk or even almond milk, which has like a little bit of fat in it, it might help keep you fuller for longer. So we're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak, which would be good. Another thing that I thought of is that with your you've got like a handful of sultanas for your breakfast, which is contributing to your fruit intake. If you use something like dried figs actually do provide quite a bit of calcium sort of like per serving. We don't want to go overboard because they are, like sultanas, quite high in sugar. But that might boost it up without having to sort of like make you drink something like cow's milk, which you don't like. So does that sound like something that you
definitely
could do? Yeah. Can you think of sort of like some other ways that you might want to increase your calcium?
Eat ice cream.
If you do
have a dessert occasionally.
Things like custard and ice cream do provide significant amounts of calcium, so it's a great way to sort of like, have a dessert treat but also sort of contribute to your overall nutrition.
Also there's calcium in spinach.
Yes. The thing is though, calcium in spinach, it does provide some, but it isn't super well absorbed when we compare to things that are sort of like fortified, like alternatives. I'm not telling you not to eat spinach because it's great that you're eating your vegetables, and I wish more of my clients would be so on board with their veggies. But just in the same way that you wouldn't rely on strawberries to get your daily protein, we don't want to rely on spinach to get all of our daily calcium.
Oh, good analogy.
Good analogy.
Yes.
Okay. So with our second goal of increasing your free vegetable intake, you're doing really well so far, like 3 to 4 serves out of 5. That's a really great method. A couple of ways that I saw that we might be able to improve that while sort of improving your satiety and helping you to hold out for lunch is if, for example, at morning tea, take sort of like, some chopped up like carrots or, raw green beans, or sort of like any other sort of like crunchy veg. Because I remember you saying that texture was really important to you, and that crunch, we do find that sort of crunchy foods are more satisfying.
Also, I have a question. I have only rolled oats. Because I like how it's like the texture of it.
A bit chewy.
And I feel like if I was to have like carrot, it could be a bit too smooth. Like I like carrot, but like in addition to carrot, I'll need to find something that's like a bit groovy. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how like rolled oats, they've got like in and out. I don't know. If you know what I mean?
I know that you can buy sort of like cutters that sort of like cut things with a little bit of a groove, like different knives and stuff. So you can even check your kitchen to see if you have anything like that.
Yes, that might help.
But that is a good sort of.
I just think it's oats. I love oats. I need to have like.
I love oats too. They're a great whole grain.
They're good.
So sort of like we've got that, which might help to sort of tide you over to lunch. In terms of your lunch, with the frozen veggies that you usually have with your pasta, we could just like, instead of just having one handle, maybe chuck in an extra handful. How does that sort of sound to you? Sounds like something that you could do.
For sure.
You might find that sort of like you'll end up having like a bigger portion, which might lead to you having which might lead to you having leftovers, or if you still eat it all, sort of like free vegetables like carrots and spinach.
They're good for you anyway.
Yeah, they're good for you, and they really don't provide much in the way of sort of energy. They provide a lot of energy, a lot of nutrients in a really small energy package.
Yeah.
Dinner, you say that sort of like your parents would usually cook.
Yeah.
With the roast veggies that you often have, like potato is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we incorporate other sorts of vegetables that will roast nicely. I believe you mentioned eggplant as a vegetable that you like.
Yeah,
things like eggplant and cauliflower can very easily be roasted. Usually have about the same cooking time as well, and they just provide like a little bit of extra colour and sort of a good way to up those veggies.
Yeah.
Could you think of sort of like anything else in terms of vegetables that you might want to try?
Lentils.
Yeah.
But I haven't yet.
You haven't yet tried lentils?
No, I've just like heard about them
but
I haven't actually tried them. I've been a bit skeptical because I've heard that like the most common one's chickpeas and I don't like hummus.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Lentils, they would be a good thing to try because they're really cheap. I know you didn't mention budget.
I like a good cheap.
Yeah, chickpeas are great. They don't really go off if you buy them. Yeah, they don't really go off, and they're the easiest ones to sort of cook fresh. Obviously you can buy the tins as well, but they only take about 20 minutes to cook in sort of like boiling water. They're also things like lentils and chickpeas. They're really good because they're kind of in two different food groups, so like your meat and alternatives and your vegetables. So they'll provide sort of like things like protein, iron and zinc, which we find in the meat groups, but also things like other vitamins and minerals that we would have in the vegetable group. Yeah. So like if we, for example, for your lunch, maybe if you put sort of like a little bit less pasta and sort of like put sort of like, a tin of lentils in as well.
Yeah.
So that would sort of like bulk out your lunch a little bit. Yeah. But what it would also do is that grains like pasta and legumes such as lentils, they kind of combine to create a complementary protein. So, which is really important if someone's sort of like not eating a lot or any meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that sound?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yep. And for goal number 3, which is the one that you articulated, feeling hungry after brekkie.
Yeah.
We've kind of addressed this with some of your other strategies.
Yeah.
Like cooking your oats with the calcium fortified milk and packing a small snack. It's perfectly normal to get hungry between meals if you're going sort of like 6 hours without eating something, which is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because realistically, like if you're going straight to work after breakfast, I don't really want to recommend that you eat more if you're not hungry, because you might find yourself feeling a bit sluggish.
Yeah.
So I would try sort of like the strategies that we've currently thought of. Yeah. And just making sure that you always have sort of like a small snack on you, a small healthy snack like some fruit or like the chopped up carrots. Yeah. Or sort of like a small handful of nuts or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So I might get you to have a try of these.
Yes.
And you can sort of like, if you just sort of like remember what works, what didn't work, and how does it sound if you come back in 2 weeks and we can see sort of how you're doing.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Lovely to meet you, Eilish.
Nice to meet you too.
Good luck.
Thanks.